Did you know that eating certain foods for breakfast after 60 could quietly harm your health? Breakfast is often called the most important meal of the day, but for seniors it can also be one of the most dangerous if you're eating the wrong things. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 popular breakfast foods that many older adults still eat every day without realizing how much they're draining their energy, stressing their organs, or even raising their risk of chronic disease. These aren't rare or exotic foods. In fact, they're often labeled as healthy, light, or classic by the brands that sell them. But what they really do inside the body, especially the older body, is far from harmless. Stay tuned through the end, because we're not just telling you what to avoid. You'll learn why these foods are particularly harmful after 60, what they do to your heart, brain, and digestion, and how to make better swaps that still taste good and keep you feeling full and steady throughout the morning. Whether you're 60, 70, or pushing 80, the food you choose at the start of your day has a ripple effect. It can give you energy or take it away. It can help your memory or make you foggy by lunchtime. And it can support your blood pressure or spike it before you even leave the kitchen table. Let's get into the 6 common breakfast foods that older adults should rethink starting today. Number 1. Sugary cereals and breakfast granolas. One of the most common breakfast habits among adults is pouring a quick bowl of cereal, especially those labeled whole grain, lightly sweetened, or heart healthy. But what most people don't realize is that many of these cereals are loaded with added sugars and processed carbs that can quietly wreak havoc on an aging body. The problem isn't just the sugar you see on the label. It's also the type of carbohydrates that break down into sugar within minutes of eating. When you start your morning with a high glycemic cereal, your blood sugar spikes quickly. And while that might give you a temporary lift, it's almost always followed by a crash, leaving you tired, shaky, irritable, or craving more carbs. By mid-morning, there's a man named Harold, 71, who used to eat a bowl of Raisin Bran every morning. He chose it because it sounded healthy. But despite taking his medications and walking regularly, his A1C kept creeping up. His doctor suggested removing processed cereals for 1 month just to see what happened. Harold switched to steel-cut oats with cinnamon and a handful of walnuts. Not only did his blood sugar stabilize, but he also said he felt more alert and steady all day. It wasn't about eating less, it was about eating smarter. Another hidden danger in many cereals and granolas is the presence of added preservatives, artificial flavors, and sometimes even hydrogenated oils. To improve crunch or shelf life, these ingredients increase inflammation, something most older adults are already battling quietly through arthritis, blood pressure, or memory concerns. Even granolas that look natural can be misleading. Many are baked with syrups and honey blends that create clusters, but also deliver more sugar than a donut. A small handful might be fine, but most people pour a bowl, top it with fruit or sweetened yogurt, and unknowingly start the day with 40 grams of sugar before they've even gotten dressed. What makes this issue more serious in older adults is how the metabolism changes. After 60, insulin resistance often increases and digestion slows. The body becomes less efficient at handling sugar, and the pancreas has to work harder to keep blood glucose in check. That's why something that seemed fine in your 40s can suddenly feel like a weight dragging your energy down in your 70s. The fix doesn't mean giving up breakfast. It means shifting what's in your bowl. Unsweetened oats, plain yogurt with berries, boiled eggs with whole grain toast, or even savory options like avocado can keep you full and fueled without sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster. Because the way you start your morning doesn't just shape your next few hours, it shapes your long-term health, energy, and independence. And if you've been feeling more tired lately, despite sleeping well, or you crash after breakfast without knowing why, your cereal box might be the first place to look. Number 2. Processed breakfast meats, like bacon and sausage. Bacon, sausage, and ham are staples on many breakfast plates across America. And for good reason. They smell great, taste even better, and have been part of traditional breakfast for generations. But for seniors between 60 and 80, starting the day with processed meats can quietly take a toll on the heart, blood vessels, and overall longevity in ways that often go unnoticed until it's too late. These meats are packed with saturated fat and sodium, 2 things that put added stress on the cardiovascular system, especially as we age. Saturated fats can raise LDL cholesterol, the type that clogs arteries and increases the risk of heart attack or stroke. Meanwhile, the sodium content in just 2 strips of bacon or 1 sausage patty can be enough to spike your blood pressure for the entire morning, and that doesn't even account for the preservatives. Most of these meats are cured with nitrates or nitrites compounds used to preserve color and shelf life. But once digested, those compounds can form substances called nitrosamines, which have been linked to inflammation, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of certain cancers. For older adults who may already have a sensitive digestive tract, weaker kidneys, or a family history of heart disease, This kind of chemical exposure becomes especially risky. There's a woman named Eileen, 74, who used to enjoy a sausage and egg sandwich every morning. She thought it was giving her protein to start the day, but over time she began noticing swelling in her ankles. And her doctor mentioned that her blood pressure had crept into the danger zone. Once she reduced her sodium and began replacing sausage with avocado and hard-boiled eggs, the swelling eased and so did her numbers. The issue isn't just about fat, it's about how the body processes food differently. After 60, the kidneys become less efficient at filtering out excess salt, blood vessels become more sensitive to cholesterol buildup, and the metabolism slows, meaning those dense, greasy foods sit longer in the digestive system, making you feel heavier, more tired, and sometimes even foggy by midday. And for many of these foods don't just appear once a week. They're daily habits. A few strips of bacon here, a breakfast sandwich there, sausage with pancakes at the diner, it adds up. The problem isn't having them once in a while. It's that the routine feels normal, even though the body is struggling behind the scenes to recover from the daily load. A better option. Try lean protein swaps like grilled turkey slices, plant-based breakfast patties, or eggs paired with fiber-rich veggies. Even something as simple as a slice of whole-grain toast with almond butter offers more lasting fuel than processed meat ever could, because when you're older, your breakfast isn't just a meal, it's medicine. It either helps your body recover and stay strong, or it makes your system work harder than it needs to. And when you start making small changes, even one food at a time, you begin giving your body the support it's been asking for all along. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, white bread and refined pastries. White toast, pancakes, bagels, and those tempting muffins at the coffee shop might seem like harmless breakfast choices, especially when paired with coffee and a little jam. But if you're between 60 and 80, these refined carbs are quietly working against your energy, your digestion, and your long-term blood sugar stability. What makes white bread and pastry so risky isn't just the flour, it's how fast it turns into sugar. These foods are made with highly processed white flour, which has been stripped of fiber, nutrients, and the natural bran that slows digestion. The result when you eat them, your blood sugar spikes almost immediately, triggering a release of insulin that often overshoots, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, or hungry again soon after. And that roller coaster effect isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous over time. Repeated spikes and crashes can wear down the body's ability to regulate insulin. For older adults, that means increased risk of prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or worsening glucose control for those who already have it all from what seemed like a light breakfast. I knew a man named Carl, 68, who loved starting his mornings with a toasted English muffin and jelly. It was his habit for years, but despite watching his calories and walking daily, his weight wouldn't budge and his afternoon crashes were getting worse. Once he swapped his morning muffin for a slice of sprouted grain toast with a little almond butter and half a banana, things changed. He said he finally felt steady from breakfast until lunch for the first time in years. Another hidden problem with pastries, they're often baked with trans fats even if the label says 0 grams. That's because regulations allow for small amounts to be rounded down. These fats linger in the bloodstream, raise bad cholesterol, and increase inflammation, especially in older arteries and joints that are already sensitive with age. And even for those who think I just have a little, the impact can build. A biscuit at breakfast, a Danish from the senior center, a few bites of leftover toast. It might not feel like much, but over time, these small daily choices can influence how you feel, how steady your energy is, and how well your brain and heart function day to day. Better swaps aren't about denying yourself. They're about fueling yourself better. Choose whole grain or sprouted bread that actually has fiber. Top it with something that gives you healthy fat and protein, like natural peanut butter, cottage cheese, or a poached egg. Or go savory with tomato slices, avocado, or hummus. These options digest more slowly, keep your blood sugar even, and help you feel clear, not cloudy. Because breakfast isn't just about getting full. It's about setting the tone, and when you feed your body what it truly needs, it pays you back in energy, clarity, and resilience throughout the day. Number 4, flavored yogurts with hidden sugars. Yogurt often gets a health halo, especially the flavored kind that claims to support digestion, boost protein, or offer a light start to the day. But for seniors trying to eat smarter, most of these products are not as harmless as they seem. In fact, starting your morning with sweetened yogurt can quietly undermine your energy, your gut health, and your efforts to manage weight or blood sugar. What many people don't realize is that even small containers of flavored yogurt often contain more sugar than a slice of cake. Some have upwards of 20 grams in a single serving, and that's before adding any fruit or granola. That sugar spike doesn't just flood your bloodstream. It forces your body to work harder to bring levels back down, which can leave you feeling tired or hungry just an hour or two later. And it's not just table sugar. Many of these yogurts use fruit syrups, concentrated juices, or artificial sweeteners that confuse the gut. For older adults, the digestive system is more sensitive than it used to be. The balance of bacteria in the gut, what we now know as the microbiome, plays a big role in everything from mood to immunity. And when that balance is thrown off by too much sugar, the effects ripple out. There's a woman named Joyce, 72, who told me she'd been eating strawberry yogurt with granola every morning for 5 years. It felt like a healthy choice, but she was constantly bloated and her knees always felt inflamed. Her doctor suggested switching to plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and fresh blueberries. Within a few weeks, the bloating eased, and she said her mornings felt lighter, calmer, and more stable. Another issue with many store-bought yogurts is the use of thickeners and stabilizers like Karen or modified cornstarch. These are added to create that creamy texture, but they don't support your health. In fact, they can irritate the gut lining in some people and reduce the absorption of nutrients, something seniors can't afford to lose. And even when yogurt is labeled low-fat or light, it often just means more sugar has been added to make up for lost flavor. This trade-off might look good on the calorie count, but inside your body it causes stress that lingers far beyond breakfast. If you enjoy yogurt, you don't need to give it up. You just need to take control of what's in it. Choose plain Greek or unsweetened yogurt and add your own fruit nuts or a drizzle of honey if needed. That way you're feeding your body probiotics, protein, and nutrients without the sugar spike or chemical overload. Because the right kind of breakfast doesn't just fill your stomach, it builds your foundation, and when you start your day nourishing your gut and brain, instead of stressing them, you feel the difference, not just in your energy, but in your clarity, mood, and peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. Fruit juices that seem healthy but spike blood sugar. For decades, fruit juice has been seen as a healthy breakfast choice, especially orange juice. It's bright, refreshing, and loaded with vitamin C. But for older adults, that glass of juice can quietly behave more like soda than fruit and set off a chain of effects that strain the body instead of helping it. The biggest issue is how juice strips away fiber. When you eat an orange, the fiber in the pulp slows down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream. But when you drink orange juice, even the 100% kind, you're getting all the sugar with none of the fiber. That leads to a sharp spike in blood glucose, something that's especially risky. After 60, when insulin sensitivity starts to decline, there's also the volume problem. You'd never sit down and eat 4 oranges in one go, but that's about how many it takes to make a single cup of juice. That means more sugar, more calories, and more work for your pancreas to keep things stable. For someone already dealing with borderline blood sugar or managing diabetes, this daily habit, the well-intentioned, can quietly push numbers in the wrong direction. I once spoke to a man named Walter, 75, who started each day with a large glass of apple juice. He thought it was better than coffee, but after some lightheaded spells in the morning and rising A1C levels, his nutritionist asked him to cut juice for a month and replace it with whole fruit and water. Within 3 weeks, his energy evened out, and his doctor noticed better glucose readings. And while orange juice gets most of the attention, other juices like cranberry, apple, and grape are often worse. They contain even more sugar, and many brands add sweeteners on top of what's already there. Some light or reduced sugar juices sneak in artificial additives that don't support gut health or digestion, especially for those with sensitive stomachs or slow-moving bowels. What's important to understand is that fruit itself isn't the problem. It's the processing. When you blend, strain, or concentrate fruit into a liquid, you change how the body responds. You remove the natural checks and balances that protect your energy, your insulin levels, and even your hunger cues. And for seniors trying to stay sharp, steady, and well-hydrated, that matters the better option. Stick to water, herbal teas, or infused water with lemon, cucumber, or berries for flavor. If you enjoy fruit, eat it whole. A small apple or a few orange slices give you the sweetness you crave with fiber that keeps you satisfied longer and protects your blood sugar from spiking, because the goal isn't to remove sweetness from your life. It's to enjoy it in ways that support your body, not surprise it. And starting your day with stable energy is one of the best gifts you can give yourself, especially as you age with strength, not struggle. Number 6. Butter-heavy or fried breakfast items for many people in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. Breakfast isn't really breakfast without something warm, crispy, or comforting like buttered toast, fried eggs, or even a side of hash browns from the skillet. And while these meals can feel satisfying in the moment, the way they're prepared, especially when loaded with butter, oil, or frying fat, can quietly weigh down your body in ways that last long past breakfast. As we age, digestion naturally slows. The stomach produces less acid, the gallbladder becomes less efficient, and the metabolism doesn't process fats the way it once did. That means a meal heavy in saturated fats like buttery biscuits, fried potatoes, or eggs. Swimming in oil takes longer to digest, causes more strain on the liver, and often leads to a sluggish, heavy feeling that lasts for hours. There's a man named Leonard, 76, who loved making a classic Southern breakfast: eggs fried in butter, white toast, and hash browns. It was his routine for decades. But he started noticing that after breakfast he'd feel foggy, tired, and slightly nauseous. His doctor suggested keeping the eggs, but switching the preparation using a non-stick pan, skipping the butter, and pairing it with greens and whole grain toast instead. Within a few weeks, Leonard said, mornings felt lighter and he no longer needed a nap before lunch. The issue with frying isn't just about fat. When oils are heated to high temperatures, especially reused or unstable ones, they break down into compounds that increase inflammation in the body. For older adults already dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or cardiovascular concerns, this can quietly add fuel to the fire, literally. And while butter isn't inherently evil, it's often overused. One pat becomes two, a bit on toast becomes a base for the pan. And when combined with other high-fat items, cheese, bacon, creamy sauces, it becomes a load that the body wasn't built to handle daily, especially in the morning when the body's trying to wake up and stabilize. It's not about cutting out warm or savory breakfast. It's about lightening them. Eggs can be poached or soft-boiled. Toast can be brushed with olive oil instead of butter. Potatoes can be roasted with herbs instead of fried in grease. These small changes preserve the flavor while dramatically reducing the inflammatory burden. Because the food you eat at sunrise doesn't just set the tone for the day, it sends a message to your heart, your brain, and your gut. That message can either be, I'm going to take care of you, or you're on your own. And for those of us who want to stay independent, strong, and mentally sharp well into our later years, choosing the lighter path in the morning may just keep everything else working a little smoother. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts, GU. As we wrap up today's video, I want you to take a moment and think about what's really happening each morning. Not just what's on your plate, but how that plate makes you feel afterward. Do you feel steady, alert, and clear-headed? Or do you feel bloated, tired, or ready to sit down again before the day has even started? The truth is, breakfast can either be a quiet gift to your body or a burden. And after 60, your body's not just asking for food, it's asking for help. Help to keep blood sugar steady, help to reduce inflammation, help to stay energized, focused, and mobile. The foods we cover today might be popular, convenient, or even feel nostalgic. But that doesn't mean they're still right for the body you have now. Whether it's sugary cereals, salty meats, white bread sweetened yogurt, fruit juices, or heavy butter fried items, they all share one thing in common. They take more than they give. They spike you, crash you, weigh you down, and make your body work harder than it needs to. And when your body's already carried you through 6, 7, or even 8 decades, it deserves something better. Start small. Swap the juice for water and fruit. Choose eggs with greens instead of sausage. Try whole grains over white bread. These changes may seem simple, but they affect compounds day by day, meal by meal. Not to restrict you, but to support you. Not to take joy away, but to bring it back through clarity, comfort, and control. Because aging well isn't about what you lose, it's about what you keep. And the right breakfast doesn't just feed your hunger, it feeds your future. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.